Tesla,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's
Some good opportunities have come, some bad,
yeah.
but
Although it's
come on.
pulling back, but it was at 411. I could have bought it at 411.
Well, today I think it's a 413 or
Yeah.
420.
But I checked my account. It's still not in there.
No.
Apparently, there's a turtle somewhere with a check on his
Somewhere in
back
it.
that is going from Ohio, where Equity Trust is, to San Francisco, where Schwab is.
The worst part is waiting for these transactions to happen because once it's in your account, it's like boom, you can utilize the money. But until then,
Right. It's my own fault because I did this before. And when Schwab sends over a form, they don't have a little checkbox that says wire it or overnight it, which I would have
I
obviously done.
yeah.
And when I spoke to Equity Trust, they said, "Oh, it didn't say anything on the form, so we just sent a check." Um, so they, because they charge you for that, wiring it, so they just sent a check. So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where I'm protected by God because it's gonna work out.
I think so. I think so. Even I was thinking about it last night. Like bought Bitcoin like 2 days ago, and I
Yeah.
was thinking about it this morning as so Bitcoin went up yesterday. Went up. I think I made like $600 or $700, and so I'm
Nice.
thinking, okay, like that's good. But my gut tells me Bitcoin has to go down still.
Oh
And
yeah.
today it went down. So it went down
Yeah.
to like $1,300.
Mm.
And something in my head says it hasn't gone down
13,
enough. 13,000. So it's at 13,000.
13,000. That's what I thought. Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually want to talk to Mitch when I see him today because I did set up the little account thing to get on his Leo Finance, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize you could just get a Robinhood account. And how do you fund your Robinhood account? Did you do it with Venmo, or how do you get it into?
I pulled it from my bank account, but they have a whole bunch of options for funding now. They're like the stock trading platform for millennials. So basically, if you have money, you can put it in there. They've got a way to get paid.
Cool. I'm just setting up the Facebook so I can see if we've got any
Yeah. So Facebook
people
is live,
commenting. Yeah.
which reminds me, welcome back. This is the 100 Millionaires Podcast. My name is Gualter Murillo. I'm hanging out with my good co-host, Mike Schein. Mike, why don't you bring us in with your slogan?
What up, GA?
Just
We've
talking Bitcoin
decided.
and crypto,
Yeah,
like I'm
we
a genius.
Gualter and I were out to dinner the other night, and I said that it's very difficult for me to get out Gualter Amarello. So he's GA now.
But it's not as easy as Mike Schein,
Like
right?
Shine. I love my name. My kid was asking me if I had a different name, what would it be? And I was like, Michael.
I'll just throw a few letters at the end, bro.
Yeah, Michael. I don't know. But anyways, I am focusing on massive income from passive income. And Brenda and I talk about that a lot. That, there's a lot of people out there that constantly talk about struggling and working hard, and you have to struggle and you got to put in the time. And I'm convinced that, from the surrender experiment and untethered soul, that
Yep.
opportunities will come with, I'm not saying you sit on the couch and eat pizza and then it all comes to you, but things naturally come to you. And when they do, take those opportunities. Like, for example, I was thinking about this morning. We were talking about me doing some coaching on partnerships. Where the heck did that come from? I wasn't looking for this, but you said it. And if you believe The Untethered Soul, amazing book, and The Surrender Experiment, which is just such a good book, it's like Walter said, partnerships. I said, okay, that was it. Okay,
Mike Schein, 2 minutes into the call, has already dropped 2 books.
nice, nice. And that was
That's
funny. And
right.
I said that this is the magic of the universe. You know this, Walter. But anyways, I said, hey, Gualter, you think I should do partnering for profit? Because this book has been sitting in the back of on my counter for 20 years now. I don't even know if it's a good book. I haven't read it. But anyways, it's ironic. It's appropriate that I would have partnering for profit. So.
Yeah, you just pulled it out when we were talking about you doing partnership as a
Yeah.
coach. So it's funny because you say, oh, I haven't attracted this, but I remember 2 years ago, you're in my office saying, you came up to me after one of my sessions and you said, you know what, I'd like to and you were uncomfortable about it because you didn't really believe you had the ability to do it, which is so crazy compared like from you then to you now. But you came up to me and said, me and my wife at some point would like to coach. We'd like to, help some people out and maybe teach people how to do finances just a little bit better.
Help millions of people out.
Well, now you're thinking on the large scale. Now you're doing the podcast. Now you're out there with us coaching. Yeah. But I remember like there was you didn't know what you were going to coach or how the program would look, but you knew that you'd have to help somebody at some point.
Such a good feeling. That's what it is. You get that. You were just talking about your gut with Bitcoin, and it's really that's like I'm not to change the subject or just go a little bit left turn, but boy, trusting your gut is such a, people always say trust your gut, but seriously, the best decisions I've made in my life, including things on real estate, have been trusting my gut. Just Brenda, I remember I had my first house like that we were going to live in. It's a 3-bedroom, and my friend and I were going to do like a fix and flip.
Yeah.
And his wife at the last minute said, "Yeah, I don't think you should have partners." And Brenda immediately, like same day, said, "I want that house. Let's get that house." And it was like the best decision I ever made. We bought it for $160. We put like 60, maybe 80 into it, and we sold it for $320 after we lived there for over 2 years.
Yeah.
So capital gains, all that good stuff. Yeah.
So there's opportunities when we don't see them. It's really, like you said, surrender, like that book, The Untethered Soul, letting just being, this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm here for. Obviously the numbers worked. You wouldn't have bought it if the numbers didn't work.
Yeah. But it was pretty bad. They had 3 pit bulls, 3 different daughters. The mom owned the place, but she was like down in Florida with her boyfriend. She was probably 45, something like that, and her boyfriend was like 20.
Oh,
she
no.
was down in Florida, and her 3 daughters. The 3 daughters were living there, and they each had like pit bulls and boyfriends. And this is like a cute little house, but they had padlocks on the doors because there was, and all the neighbors. Yeah, they were dealing drugs out of this house in this cute, like not a neighborhood you would think someone would be dealing drugs out of.
Right.
So the neighbors were like, "Oh, thank God you moved in." We used to have cars pull up at 2 a.m, flash their lights, and
oh yeah.
But there was dog urine everywhere. So like, when people say, we were walking through the open house and all the people like, "This is horrible," and all I'm thinking is like, it came later, but cat pee equals money.
Cat pee equals money.
Yeah. In this case, it was dog pee, but yeah. And if you ever have an unfinished basement that has lots of smells in it, I tried like everything. We bought like bottles of lemon juice and poured it on the floor and all that stuff. I'll tell you, the secret is Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean bought 10 bottles of this stuff. It was like a cement floor, but it was kind of beaten up.
Yeah.
We just dumped that stuff all over the floor, and mopped it, and then used the shop vac to clean it up, and the smell was gone.
You're talking pure Mr. Clean. No.
Yeah, don't dilute it at all. Oh my God, so many people give you so many pieces of advice. I'm telling you, we went to Home Depot and we bought those little lemon or orange canisters, those, you open them up.
Yep.
That didn't do it. The lemon juice, I went to like Stop and Shop and bought like 20 things of lemon, poured that on, but it was the Mr. Clean after all that. So there you go. There's tip of the day.
That's awesome. I love it. Quick tip. So Brandon Turner and
we actually ended up finishing the basement too.
Yeah.
And for the kids to like play down there, we had a laundry, washer dryer down there, bulkhead to go out to the backyard.
Yep.
We got this thing. Here's my other tip. We needed some sort of a heating system in the basement, but something that was safe if the kids touched it. Yeah. So we bought this thing. It was called Renai, RENNAI was the company, I think.
Yep.
This thing had a little remote, and it was hooked behind the wall to we had oil.
Yep.
And we had a guy come in, and he hooked this thing up. You would turn this thing, it wasn't a huge basement, but you would turn this thing on with a remote or touch the thing. In 5 minutes, the whole basement was warm and cozy and amazing.
No kidding.
I can't recommend that company enough.
Yeah.
Renai, and it was little. I think it cost us back then like $500.
Little wall unit.
Yeah.
Recesses into the wall, and then.
Well, this one was sticking out from the wall, but yeah, you could get that too. It's awesome.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Funny. Look at so many quick tips.
Quick tips.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, I missed the Bigger Pockets podcast. Actually, I was watching it this week, and they had 409. I remember starting it when it was like 79 episodes, and I went all the way back to the beginning, and then pushed all the way to 79. I think I listened to all the way to like 150, and then real estate just sort of happened, right? I just got into it and haven't listened to it too much until Grant Cardone was back on episode 250.
Yeah,
no,
he's 108, and then he's 250.
Yeah.
But there was somebody on the other day. Was that when we were talking on the mentorship? Like 409 is something we really have to watch. What was it? Bluefishing. Yeah, so, did you know that's free on podcast on Audible?
Did not know, but I'm about to order it now.
Yeah, I went on Saturday when doing the call, and I saw it. It says included with your Audible subscription. I was like, yes. I haven't started yet because I'm listening to the Power of Habit.
For it, so whoops.
What?
I already paid for it.
Oh, well, give it to a friend. Power of Habit is amazing, by the way. Thank you so much.
Isn't it?
It's I love the stories. I'm only on like chapter 1, but I'm driving to Worcester. I actually have a call on the way out there, but on the way back, I'll get a good hour in listening to it.
Nice.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's good because the compound effect is good, right? It gives the same concepts or a lot of similar concepts, but the story is a little watered down. Right. and the principles are a little watered down. It's almost it was almost too easy of a book, but it was a good introduction to habits. Sure. The Power of Habit goes more into the psychology of it and gives you more depth.
I love the science, like that whole thing with the basal ganglia and how that's I don't know. I always liked science, but I never really went into it. Like, you could either do a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, and I was,
Arts.
I'm doing arts. It's easier. You could drink a lot more beer in college.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be much simpler to get through without focusing too hard.
Yeah, my before I went to college, I said I was going to be a brain surgeon. And then I got to college and they said, you have to have 2 years of chemistry, organic and inorganic chemistry. You have to have a year of physics and a year of biology.
Math.
Yeah. And then for the pre-law, you just have to read a bunch of books. So Power of Habit. Nancy Saveo is saying The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And the answer is yes, right?
Yes. I wanted to be a physicist, Mike. That was my life mission.
Oh, really?
I wanted to be an inventor when I was a kid. I was like, I just want to invent things.
I don't know why you love Nikola Tesla.
Right? So he was like my hero.
Really? That's crazy. Yeah. How old? I think I learned about Nikola Tesla like a year ago.
Oh, no. So I was like 12 years old. So
that's awesome.
I would actually go to the library and pick out my own books. And my mom, one of the best things they bought was the old encyclopedias, like, like 22 books.
Yeah.
I burned through those. I used to read those like they were a comic book. Yeah.
That's awesome. My hero was Ted Turner.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, when I took my kids to New York to the Wax Museum, they all wanted to take pictures with like Prince and stuff. I took a picture with the wax Ted Turner.
This is as close as I'm getting.
Well, because I lived in Newport, Rhode Island in the summer when Ted Turner was a skipper of one of the America's Cup sailboats. And I was working at a gas station / Hertz rent-a-car place. But like, I think he was in a restaurant one time when I was down on Lower Thames Street, and I was like, oh my God, Ted Turner. And he was freaking crazy, but just crazy enough to have ideas like CNN and the Turner broadcast. He was like fun and crazy. He's a sailor. He's doing all this crazy shit, but meanwhile, he's a brilliant businessman as well. So yeah,
Yep.
it's cool. That term.
Speaking of brilliant businessmen, Thomas Edison, right?
Yeah, right.
So coming into life, I was more Nikola Tesla because he was the underdog and and had all these ideas and infinite energy and all this. So I was really obsessed, right?
Yeah,
And then as I get more into business, I shifted my allegiances over to
Edison.
because he
I,
actually they created practical things that got implemented on a large scale and was really good at marketing and building a business.
nice. I want to
That
read John D. Rockefeller, that one that we talked about, Titan. And I'm kind of
so
excited because I really don't read anything but self-help books right now. So
it's
um,
almost a history book with principles behind it because
yeah, exactly.
success leaves clues, and he was where the billionaires of their time,
Yeah.
and you kind of get to see
So
the whole process.
so Bluefishing, from what you told me, was about a guy who has only like 99 associates, but they're all billionaires. Is that what you said?
I want to say it was 87 or 90 or 93, something like that, but it was under 100. And
Wow.
those were his client list. He's like, I only have 100 people in my phone, under 100 people in my phone.
What did he do for, you said client? So what was his job?
So that all his clients are billionaires, including Elon Musk. And what he does, he throws parties.
He's the party guy. Okay, I
He's the
remember you saying.
party guy, right?
Wow.
And his story is fascinating because he realized at some point you can't add more people to your life. You have to increase the quality of the people
Right.
and
So
go and
he'd get rid of us at this point.
it depends on what point in his life. Depends on what point in the game.
I'm just saying at this point, be like, yeah, Mike Schein, Gualter, you can come to the party if you want to park cars.
Right. At least we're getting the invites, Mike.
Right.
I can park anything.
Right.
I'll learn real quick. I think the premise was very similar to what we do, right? With building the 100 millionaires, the concept is very similar, and a lot of the billionaires became billionaires while they were friends with him. They weren't as wealthy when he started, but they moved themselves up through the ranks.
Cool.
But for us, it's as we grow and build, they may not everybody we come in contact with is at the same level with us, but we've attracted people at the same level. We've attracted people a little bit above, and
Sure.
so by doing what we're doing, we actually are able to increase our entire sphere's net worth and
That's
continuously
awesome.
increase it and step it up. And we've got people who are starting at the bottom looking to get up there. So
So basically, we're going to create the 100 millionaires, and
yeah,
then we're going to tell them that we have a more exclusive group, which is Deca millionaires,
now we go.
and then hecto millionaires. And I think that's important to actually go look up those definitions.
Yeah.
You can't be a Deca millionaire unless you know what a Deca millionaire is.
First, you got to think it, right? Step
Yeah,
one in becoming anything is
yeah.
you
So
got to
we'll
mind
do
of
the
it.
hecto millionaire next.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's cool. And then everybody knows what a billionaire is, but write that down sometime. If you want just a little exercise, just write a 1 with 9 zeros after it and a dollar sign. It's an amazing feeling because before I ever met you, Walter, I never even envisioned that at all. And then we were just talking about creating it, and I could see a pathway to it. That's when the light switch went on. Like you sit there and you talk about get to a million, and I think people who who don't have a lot of money don't see a pathway. But
Right.
as soon as you see that path, you're like, wow, this is not really as complicated as I thought it was.
Right. Even
So,
100,000, right? Like when you go back to the
right.
average person in America makes under $50,000, right? So
Mhm.
to tell them they can go make 100, they'd laugh at you, right? They would laugh. 80% of this country makes under 100,000, and
Right.
so like the numbers we talk about seem unrealistic. It seems so crazy, seems outlandish, but it really isn't if you're thinking about it. If you're like you're saying, if you're focusing on it, if you're thinking about it, and you're getting used to what that might look like.
Right. And
You know,
actually, if I give something that's beneficial to this group, it's my realization that to become a millionaire is really not a difficult path. I try to say it all the time because if you have 5 houses or if you want to go for just say 10 properties.
Yep.
And they have a little bit of equity in them, you're there already.
Right.
I mean, it's not that complicated.
And that's with a little bit of equity.
Right, exactly.
I was a
I'm
millionaire.
just talking about getting over the little hump of 1 million.
Right.
Well, nobody ever talked to me about it until you talked to me. You kind of, in a good way, I'm not saying this negative, but you kind of embarrassed me when I used to go to Fall River, because we would be sitting there and you'd say, "Oh, Mike's a millionaire too." And I'm like, "What?" I never thought about it. But then when I actually did the net worth and the net worth tracker, I was like, "Holy shit, he's right." What you focus on grows, or whatever. Yeah.
What you focus on expands. What you've
Expands,
probably
yeah.
noticed over this last year is your net worth has increased significantly.
Yeah, I said that the other day. I said that I've been doing the network track. I don't do it weekly. I've been doing it monthly, only because the chart that Mitch Jaworski sent us is a monthly
Right.
thing. But you know what I like about the monthly is that, when Tesla goes up and down like that, that can cause swings in net worth, but it usually evens out by the end of the month.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you do it like October 5th, and then all this stuff is happening right now, but by November 5th, or August to September, it kind of evens it out. So it's cool. But
It's interesting
yeah,
to pay attention
if you're
to.
listening, I just have to say, do the network tracker. It's on gualteramorello.com, right?
Yep.
Yep.
It's free. You go into Alchemist University, create a free login, and then go to free resources, and it's right in there. Click on the net worth tracker, download it.
Yeah. You know what you should do? I don't know if you have this already, but you should have Ron do like quick links.
Yeah.
Like up in the corner of just gualteramorello.com, just up in the corner, if they can just click on network tracker or 52 books.
Put the free resources right on the front main page.
Yeah, just so people, because I know when I'm looking, like we do a book a week, and here's my list, and I was going through it, and somebody asked me where the list is, and I'm like, whatever. But
so we have that on the main page now. The 52 right on the main page.
Nice. Yeah. Because I always like that with like Schwab and Equity Trust. They have just like quick links.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff that I want to get to right away, and like the network tracker is one of them.
And you just want to go straight to it. What I'm looking at doing is having a developer go and create the net worth tracker on the website itself. So instead of being a downloadable form, it would be something you go and fill out, and then you can it should email it back to you. But I'd like it to save it right there on the website. This way you can come back, and each week you can go and fill it out and see like a trend. Like if we can get
That's awesome. Yeah.
That'd be the ideal.
That would be great. That's cool.
Yeah. If we can get it so it fills out every week, and then create its own trend, so you can start following which assets are doing well, which ones aren't.
And then when somebody is an accredited investor.
Well, there you go. Right. So
you look and you say, "Oh, he's past that thing. Get him a plaque."
Right. So how do we track millionaires right now? We basically we do a one-on-one session and say, hey, like, where you at?
Yeah.
But if I'm not paying attention, if I'm not making the attempt to go out and call you and say, hey, where you at?
Yeah. And think about it. This thing is growing so fast because of the meetups that you're doing.
Yeah.
How great would it be if when someone becomes an accredited investor, you already know them personally, and then you could say, hey, we've got a syndication we'd like you to be a part of, and then we're on our way. I mean,
it's the easiest way.
We got to get 10,000 units somehow. So
it's the easiest way to raise capital, right? The easiest way to let people know, hey, there's a deal, an opportunity. We don't want to go around and not talk to accredited investors and then get in trouble, doing a syndication. Right. So it's a phenomenal tool. And we want to add a net worth tracker. We want to add a couple of bigger calculators like BiggerPockets has. So there's a couple pieces we want to add to make the website more user friendly, just like a super valuable resource.
I'm trying to think what the book was. I think it was The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, when Gary Keller was talking about sitting down with his friend once a week, and his friend was doing the tracking, and they tracked it every week and had a cup of coffee. And what was your question last week? You said, how can I give myself a raise today?
How do you give myself
that was super powerful, Gualter. That was awesome.
That's it, man. How do I get a raise?
Because if you wake up in the morning and you start chasing your tail and saying, I got this to do, I got that to do. I love that with Tim Ferriss, where he says, don't answer your emails till noon. And
Yeah.
or maybe not once a week, delegate it to a VA. But anyway,
Yeah.
I love that if you have a focus, like I could picture, I should probably do this, put it in my room, like somewhere when you first get up, just like, or in your home office. So it's like the first thing you see in big print that says, how can I give myself a raise today?
Yes.
And
I'm putting that one on my whiteboards. I got to get that written on the wall. You're right.
Right? Don't you think that would, it's like saying the one thing, but it's even more focused on money,
Right.
Hey, I
Right.
did something else, not to keep blowing smoke, but you said focus at least an hour on Sunday. So I was sitting there on Sunday and I journal. I try to journal every day, and my journaling is kind of an affirmation that, oh yeah, try. Sorry. I journal most days anyway.
Yeah. There you
And I usually start with like affirmations because it just gets me sitting there.
Yeah.
And that's like a routine. Like I start with, I'm a money magnet, and I write that down every time.
Yep.
But I went off on this whole thing about money, and it was like 2 pages long about just manifesting and making it effortless. And it was like a free flow of, it was so powerful. It was just like a free flow of, it's all effortless. It's all coming to me. It's coming to my family, and it's coming to my friends.
Yeah.
And that was super powerful. Yeah. Right.
Glad to be a friend, Mike.
Yeah. There you go. I love it. I mean, mine's a little different from yours because you spend your whole Sunday, and it's easier for me to get up and do a daily like journal and focus, that kind of thing, rather than take all Sunday.
You're getting the same amount of time in, right?
Yeah, I got to take care of my horses on Sundays.
You and Dorina. You got 5 kids, Mike. I think it's okay to make sure that they see you on Sundays and get some time with you as well.
Or just getting out in the woods with my mountain bike. I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. And those days are coming to a close, aren't they? Once it starts snowing, it gets dangerous.
I got these lobster claw mittens.
Yeah.
They're super warm, and I got for $30 on Amazon this like winter bright orange, so you don't get shot by hunters.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
bright orange. So I think I got through December, anyways, of mountain biking.
Oh, no way.
In fact, the other day I was in a flannel undershirt, like for skiing.
Yep.
And then I had this orange thing on, but I also had my music on with my headphones, and it was all, so I couldn't take it off. I mean, I could, but it would have taken like 10 minutes. I'm not doing it. I was sweating profusely because it was like 60 degrees, and I'm like, oh my effing God. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
Yeah.
That's like December apparel. This is not even November yet.
Exactly. But
so
nice trails, 5 minutes from my house. I am so blessed. I love it.
Speaking of it, I've got about I'm 9 days away from my trip down to Tampa. And so I am like mentally already there.
Yeah.
So, like as I'm going through my books, like which books am I going to be bringing with me? And
all of them.
I was here last night, like just made sure all 52 weeks to Gualter upload to YouTube. Like you can't see them yet, but my virtual assistant Sam can see them, and he's adding the descriptions.
Cool.
I'm uploading. I did half last night.
Do you have a place? Did you find a place already?
Yeah, that's what Dorina's for. So I told her.
Oh, no, but she has a place in Tampa.
Yep.
Nice.
$1,500. We've got a massive 3-bedroom, 2-bath, deck. It's basically the type of complex I'd like to own, right? It's like that complex, like big. I think we're on the 3rd floor. I told her, I was like, I don't want 1st floor. I don't want 2nd floor. I want 3rd floor.
So wait, it's a condo unit then?
I don't know if it's a condo or if it's just an apartment complex.
Gotcha.
But it's got the pool. It's got the gym. It's literally the type of building I'd like to own. I don't know if it's gated. It probably is. That's how Florida seems to be.
Yeah, a lot of that. That's cool. Yeah, I love that. I lived in something like that in California when I lived in Huntington Beach.
Exactly.
What was awesome was I get up. I didn't like the job I had. I worked at a law firm, and it was like billable hours. It was not for me. But the cool thing is about where I lived was it had a pool. So I'd get up at 6 a.m. because I had to be at work like 7:30, and I would get in the pool, nobody'd be there, and I would just swim laps, and it was so awesome. You have a whole pool to yourself, lap pool, nobody bothering you. What a way to wake up in the morning.
Mike, I'm
Dive
telling
in, do like 20, 30 laps, and I don't know, just crush it. It was awesome. And then I go to this soul crushing job.
you. Yeah, awesome.
It was horrible.
I'm looking forward to going to a private gym that is not workout world requiring a mask. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'll wear the mask if somebody's in there, but I'm planning on figuring out hours that nobody is in the gym.
Right. And my friend lives in a town down there called Dunedin.
Yep.
And when you go there, you should check out Dunedin because it's a cool little town for you and Doreen to go on the weekend just to go check out a tourist kind of fun place. Really good sushi place there. I'll tell you where it is. You could actually meet my friend Tom, but it's a cool town. But his place has like a gym with like a key card. Even though it's apartments, it just has a key card and it has really nice equipment. And when we were there, nobody was in there, so it was perfect, and it had good equipment. Yeah, it's cool.
That's what I'm hoping for. I know that I've seen the gym. The gym looks good on videos and pictures, but I'm hoping that it's like every other place in the world. Most people don't utilize
it, right? Right. That's awesome. You know what? My friend Tom, not to keep harping on me, but he and Tom and Trina live in Dunedin, and they took up paddle boarding.
Oh yeah.
And so they cool thing about Dunedin is they allow golf carts in the downtown. So from their apartment, they have this little garage off to the side, like separate garage for the apartments. And they pull out the golf cart, and then they cruise down in town. And but anyways, they paddle. When we were there, they were paddle boarding like 5, maybe 10 minutes from their house at the most. It's so awesome.
Mike, I just got hit with a revelation that I was supposed to talk to you about this, and I wanted to mention this on the podcast today. I have a deep understanding of inflation and deflation now. I sat up watching YouTube videos for hours.
Paddle boarding.
Yeah, it just hit me. It was like shift. I gotta get back to finances because you and I are wrapping this up in about 16 minutes. So I was supposed to talk to you. Are you watching us on live?
Yeah, I was just answering Ken Hoffman because he said, "Soul crushing job, LOL. I can relate."
Yeah, we've all had those.
God, I worked at DEM, and I would Department of Environmental Management. It was like an internship. Oh my God, it was like the minutes were like hours. It was just horrendous. Yeah.
I worked at Walmart for 3 years. So from 18 to 21.
So tell me the difference between inflation and deflation and where we're heading.
My shitty job experience, I turned into a career. I ended up moving up in management. Like it was
nice. I told you I fell asleep in the back of a Hertz rent-a-car, didn't I? Did I tell you that story? Yeah. We just go and party in Newport and then wake up. I had to be there by 7 o'clock vacuuming. I'm in the back seat. Next thing I know, I'm sound asleep.
It's not an easy life, Mike.
I love those guys. Were great. My bosses were awesome. They were the Foley brothers in Newport. Their Foley's Golf was right next to the restaurant now called the Fifth Element.
Oh, nice.
They're gonna turn it into a hotel now. So the Foley's Golf Station. But that's kind of one of those things like McDonald's where they're not serving hamburgers. They're just it's real estate. Because this was a Foley's Golf and a Hertz rent-a-car, and they were successful at it. But what's really valuable now is that Golf Station. I mean, it's right on Broadway, right near downtown, and it's going to be a huge hotel. And
smart.
It's cool.
So, Mike, inflation and deflation.
Okay.
I don't know which one is coming. I think both. And I've been watching a lot of Ken McElroy. I've been watching Robert Kiyosaki. I've been watching and you think of it, they're an economist. I've been watching them, right? Like Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett, they all have opinions of what's coming, and it is time consuming as hell to listen to all their freaking opinions.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Right. But at the end of the day, it
I'm
comes
manifesting my own world. So,
and as you should, it
yeah.
comes down to one thing, and it's that there will be there we currently are in inflation. We've had inflation for years. It's why hard assets have done so well.
Yeah.
And there is deflation coming on certain assets because the fundamentals say that they have to. But the government is continuously putting quantitative easing and more money into the marketplace, which creates more inflation. And even though a lot of these really smart people are saying we're not seeing inflation, they're wrong because home prices are on the rise. That's a sign of inflation. Gold is on the rise.
Sure.
Bitcoin is on the rise. These are all signs of inflation. And so the inflation is here, it is occurring, and these guys are just blind to it. So the government is tossing more money into the system, creating and causing more inflation.
What about what my chicken genius said about that? That we have a law that says we can't print more money. So we're actually, I'll have to find that link because his was a very contrarian thought.
Send it over. Yeah, I love listening to all of it. And it's not that we're printing money, we're just putting digits on your debit cards and sending checks in the mail, but there's no money being printed. It's just literally just being sent, just manifested, just creates like clipping coins. So anyway, the inflation that we're seeing and have seen, and debt does really well in inflation, right? As the dollar goes down in value, your debts go down in value because the assets have gone up in value. So we're seeing a lot of it, but what we're always looking for as investors is deflation. It means our dollars are stronger and they go further.
Hey, I'm going to click on this and it might be on, so I apologize.
Yeah.
So there you go.
14 minutes left to understand inflation and deflation. We've got this. The thing to write down is that deflation means your dollar is stronger. That's it, right? Deflation means dollar is stronger. It can buy more of everything. And so in a deflationary market, if you're holding dollars, you win. Every investor knows this. Every investor of all time.
That's actually what Chicken Genius says. The name of his article is Why the US Dollar Will Explode. So I put it in the chat and I also put it in the Facebook.
Awesome. Yeah, let me grab it out of the chat because I don't know how to save these.
Fiat money, man. Why is it called fiat, by the way? Does that have something of like foreign? I don't know what.
I don't know what the origin of fiat, the word itself, comes from.
I mean, I know what it means. I'm just saying I didn't know.
Yeah.
But fiat stood for fix it again, Tony.
Fix it again, Tony.
Oh, fiat, the
car.
The car, fix it again, Tony.
Fiat definition, a formal authorization or proposal, a decree, an arbitrary order. So my guess is they're referring to it as an arbitrary order.
Gotcha.
And a formal authorization or proposal, I guess, hey, this is valuable, so it's valuable. The concept around currency being fiat, that's like a whole other topic, is that it's all fiat, right? The only thing real would be real estate or food
but not Bitcoin.
No, it's not real. It's just a perception of real, right? So the only reason Bitcoin is valuable is because there's a lack of it. There's a limit of it. Just like the only reason gold is valuable is because there's a limit of it. There's
right. And Bitcoin is what, 21 million coins total?
That's it.
Yeah.
And so you can't do prior to them popularizing Bitcoin, you could do absolutely nothing with it. It was completely useless digital code. And even today, you can transact with it, you can do some things with it, but they had to go and create the ability to do that. It was not inherently easy, and it still isn't easy. It's a very cost prohibitive and clunky way of transacting, although cryptocurrency allows us to transact faster, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin inherently is slow and it's big. And
I didn't know that.
But it has a lot of
value. I had a friend of mine who's a personal injury attorney in my BNI group who said last year he got paid in Bitcoin.
Of course, it's possible.
Yeah.
And people have been transacting Bitcoin with each other for years. The point is that its only value is that it's different from the dollar.
Well, I got a question for you. Maybe you know the answer. If not, I'll ask Mitch. But Mitch holds 12 different types of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So my question is, does he just hold 12 because he's betting on 12 different horses to see who wins the race?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's diversification. This is the .com era, like the .com boom. There's more than 12 cryptocurrencies out there. There's
Oh yeah.
being
I'm
developed.
just wondering if you're, I mean, it's like us buying our penny stocks. You're just saying this is the one that's going to hit, or
I'm in Bitcoin because that's the one that everybody has to transact with right now.
right.
So in order to buy those other currencies, they buy in Bitcoin.
Do you actually have full coins, or do you have portions of coins, or how does
I
that?
have one full Bitcoin.
That's cool. And you
It's
just got that on Robinhood.
Yeah, I just bought it on Robinhood. Yep.
I'm surprised my Schwab wouldn't allow me to buy Bitcoin.
I bet it does. You may just have to go and request it. It may just be a different option.
Gotcha. Yeah, because Schwab was able to get me stocks on the Australian Stock Exchange. So why not?
Of course.
Currencies, yeah.
Yeah, they have the, like, I think that they're better than TD Ameritrade, right? TD won't let me trade certain stocks, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
But Schwab seems to basically be able to do whatever it is that we desire as investors. So I'll probably be creating another account.
So let me ask you a question. So inflation, deflation.
Yes.
That just leads back to the barbell theory?
Sort of. I've got more information on the barbell theory now. So if you were to diversify and say, I'm going to put 20% of everything into these 5 categories: real estate, Bitcoin, gold, and cash, right? So real estate, Bitcoin, gold, cash, equities. So those 5 positions. There's another position that does well in inflation, that's debt. So it would be debt-backed real estate, right? 2/3 debt. So 30%, 33% equity. And that's the formula. So the real estate actually does double if you've got debt on it, because as the debt goes down, the real estate asset goes up. So it's actually doing double duty.
That's cool.
In this theory, right?
Yeah.
The cash goes down. So you look at it, all 5, there's actually that 6th one, that little ghost of debt. So if you look at it, and about 16-17% is each one of these, but I'm going to average it out to 2. And I'll just talk about, say we're playing with $120,000. You get 20,000 in each one of these. And you got cash is 20,000. In a deflationary market, those assets go down in value, your cash goes up. You're left with $20,000 that has gone up. Like the 20,000 has actually improved.
Yeah.
Now, if you shift over and we're in an inflationary market, which we are currently, cash is going down and the others have gone up. So a significantly bigger win if you were diversified and spread across barbell theory across everything. So if it was 20 in crypto, 20 in stocks, real estate.
One thing that I would say is when you're talking about this diversification, a lot of times people look at individual things, like me, for example, my Schwab account, but you really have to take a global view of your investments, because, for example, I may not be balanced if you looked at my Schwab account, but then if you looked at my principal residence and how much we've paid down the line of credit that we have on that, that's actually cash, or cash that can be used. And that's, I had a lender when I was doing a refi who pointed that out to me, and I thought that was a great piece of advice, because you sit there and you go, oh my God, I'm not diversified or whatever. But when you take a global view of everything you have, you may be more diversified than you think you are. So
Exactly. You gotta take a global look at your portfolio and evaluate. And what you just said is that cash, that equity you have in your house is cash. It's better than cash. It's real estate that could be cash. So it's
just thinking of something. I'll have to find it for you, but my kids found this video. I'm sorry I know you're having a serious discussion, but my 8-year-old, when he was like 6 or 7, would always talk about this, it's free real estate. And
where do you get the free real estate from? Hold on.
wait, I'm gonna send you the link right now, but it's oh wait, that's not the whole thing. I want to see the whole commercial. Anyways, but it's let me see if I can find it, but it's really funny. It's just like some skit. But my son would come over to me whenever Brenda and I were talking about real estate, and he'd go, it's free real estate. I'm finding it now. Keep going.
Nice. I'll just talk over your typing.
Yeah, exactly.
So essentially the inflation that's happening right now, it looks like it will continue for a little bit longer, but in real estate side, I think we're going to see it start turning over to deflation. I think we're going to see the dollar become stronger than the real estate is. Even though they're pumping a ton of money into the marketplace, there's a lot of foreclosures, a lot of forbearance that will be ending in March. The protections will be ending then. The amount of people who are behind on their rents, that the evictions that will be started in the new year, because the moratorium ends December federally, on the federal side, there's a lot of people who are going to be displaced. And what that displacement is going to do is cause rents to go up and shift. And so we're going to see a lot of inflation on the rents, because as landlords, the only time we raise rent, really, typically, like the average landlord, not the sophisticated, not the high-end landlords who are adjusting every year, but the average landlord only ups rent when people move. And so everybody who's not paying right now, they think that they're going to end up in a comparable apartment. They're not. Rents are going up because when you shift apartments, we've spent money, rents go back to market value. And so if you're sitting in an apartment for $800 and you're not paying, like we have tenants right now we just inherited them a few months ago. They're paying $700 and they're the ones not paying. So, Ron and I are laughing because as soon as they're out, we're getting $1,200. So it's
right.
It's a shift that's going to occur. It's going to tighten everybody's pockets a little bit more. And for us, we haven't been too bad.
So you have all these people who stopped paying their mortgages. But that doesn't hit. So when that hits the market, that's opportunity, or what's going? I mean, there should be a flood of more property on the market. Do you think?
Yes. So
there's going to get snapped up by the investors?
It'll be a mix of both. I think the single families will get crushed the hardest because investors don't want them, right? So the single families will get hit the hardest. The investors are the ones with money right now. The average person is, so if an investor is in the market, and as we all are, we're in the market, we're looking, we're not even thinking single families. And a single family would have to get low enough for us to think about it. It'd have to get pretty low.
Government's not going to keep bailing everybody out.
They might. And that's why this economy is artificially inflated. So
Right.
that's what the economists are screaming. The economists are screaming, like, let it drop, because if we
Right.
keep blowing this thing up, we're getting higher and higher, and it's going to be a full-on, like, worse than the Great Depression. And the government's just like, just a little bit more. Let's see if we can keep it going.
Yeah.
And the party might continue, Mike, because we've never seen this much external effect from the government, and the party could keep continuing. We are the biggest nation. We have the strongest currency, or one of the strongest currencies. There are nations now that are passing the dollar because they're not doing what we're doing. Nations like Jordan, Israel, there's people out there whose dollar, their currency is stronger than ours now.
It's cool.
So
I'd like to see what happens, and it also depends on the election too.
It doesn't. It has no effect in the election. So
none.
Both parties are going to do.
Going to print money afterwards.
Both parties are printing money. And so that's what everybody's. Oh, I don't know about the election. Has absolutely nothing to do with the economy. This election.
Because I would have thought the Democrats would have been more inclined to help the middle class and help the lower class.
It's both plans are about the same. The only thing that hurts us if Biden does get in, if his plan, if he enacts anyway, I don't think he would, but if he does, he's talking about getting rid of capital gains for us, which is fine. We'll just not sell shit, right? Like that's the only reason they'll get rid of the 1031 exchange. Fine, right? We'll just not transact as much.
I'm sure we'll find some other solution.
100%. There'll be a way around it.
Get on YouTube and there'll be an attorney CPA the next day saying, "This is the new way."
Look at what I figured out.
Opportunity zones will go crazy.
Right. So, or we'll just shift away from transacting the way we did. We may just operate differently.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool how Americans do that.
Yeah.
And we
adjust.
Yeah, we adjust. It's cool. All right.
So that's why when people say, oh, well, what if this person gets in, this person gets in? Look, there's certain unalienable rights that they will not take away from us. And then there's some that they're going to throw on us regardless of the government, like a mask, right? No matter what it doesn't matter which president gets in, there's some things we just have to fucking deal with because that's the natural order of things.
Right.
So
Although it's funny because even the mask we adjusted, because the other day you were wearing an Element real estate mask. So now it's become a new opportunity to add brand and advertise. How great is that?
Yep. I look at the mask now and I'm like, all right, as long as I'm ripping somebody's brand, I'm okay with it. This works for me.
Right. I put in the chat that free real estate commercial, and it's 11:30, so we got a hard stop.
Mike, sign us off.
Massive income from passive income, GA. I'm envious that you are going to Tampa. That's so cool. Nice warm weather. I'll have to come down and visit you. Come down in our RV in February. So
sounds good, my friend. We got a spot for you. We'll put you right next to the pool.
Awesome. Love it. Awesome.
All right, brother.
All right.
Hey, thank you for paying attention. Go like, share, subscribe. If you got some value out of this, if you learned a little bit about what is coming, and also some light conversation about what a couple of millionaires talk about once they have time to do so. Go and free real estate. Go share, like, subscribe, send us to friends.
I put it on the Facebook, so listen to it's free real estate. It's funny. So anyways.
Our mission is to build 100 millionaires.
100 millionaires. And that's just a start. That's just the start.
That's just the beginning. Once we've proven the process, we'll go after thousands. We want to basically break the system. And if there's too many millionaires in the system, now everybody's rich. So we're going to have to come up with something different to, they'll have to figure it out. They'll have to find some other way to oppress people. And we're just going to keep out there teaching and growing and passing positivity.
So awesome.
Future success, we have a choice.
Always work for the best. Peace.
There it is.
Out.
Bye, Mike.